All right, this next video is to work on our orthographic sketch for our Shut the Box game. So I'm going to help you walk through how to do this for your orthographic sketch on Tinkercad. So the first thing I want to kind of go through real quick with you is the materials. What are the pieces we're going to need? We know the base will be 10 by 7.5, and that's 1/4 inch plywood, so that's our thickness. And the rest of it's all going to be 1/2 inch wood that we're going to be working with. So we are going to need two pieces that are 7.5 inches and two pieces that are 8.5 inches by that 1/2 inch thick. And they're all going to be 2 1/4 inch tall. And then we have just another, I'm pointing at the screen. I know you can't see me pointing at the screen. Um, Sorry. We're going to also have all our number tiles are going to have to be marked as well. Those will be 2 3/8 inch long, and we'll make sure we have the holes in them. So when they're repetitive pieces, the easy thing to do is just to make one and then copy and paste. So I'll help you through that process. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go here and click on New right there, and then click 3D Design. Very good. And then once it opens, again, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the name to Shut the Box Game, and then your last name, and mine is Singer, yours is something else. All right, right below me here, you can see down here, it says Settings. So let's click on that and then look over here and make sure it's in inches, make sure it's Dremel 3D45, and make default. You can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you want, you can also make this a little bigger because we are going to need more space. So we can always just change this if you want, which I'm going to do, to 10 inches by 10 inches. I'm going to make that default so we have a big space to work with. Okay. All right. So as we said, the first piece we're going to have to do is going to be the, I covered it up, the 1/4 inch plywood. So let's go here and grab out a piece. Let's change the color so it looks kind of wood. That's what it's going to kind of look like. So it's going to be 10 inches by, I already forgot, so I'm going to look back, 7.5 inches. So 10 inches and then 7.5. And then our thickness has to be 1/4 inch, which is 0.25. So that's our base piece. Okay, that's our base piece. That's what we're going to work with. Now, the other two pieces we're going to make right away now are the front pieces, and those are going to be, or sorry, let's do the long pieces first. Or, yeah, no, the short side, which is going to be the side piece. Ugh, let's do the side pieces. And I'm going to make this like a net so we can see how it looks all the way around. So this one is going to be 7.5 inches in length. And I'm going to tab, and we're going to do 1/2 inch thickness. And again, we said the height is 2 1/4, so we're going to change that 1 to 2.25. So that's our side piece. I'm going to change the color of that one to be just a little magenta. Yeah, I like that color. That's cool. So let's copy and paste that and make sure it fits all the way on the other side. And then the next thing we said is we're going to need two pieces that are 8.5 inches long. So those are going to go on the front. So I'm going to drag a piece out here on the front, and I'm going to make that 8.5 inches long, 1/2 inch thick, and 2 1/4. So 2.25 tall. And that's how it's going to fit on the front. And you're going, this doesn't look like it's going to line up perfectly. It looks like we got gaps. Well, first I'm going to change this to a blue color. And then we're going to do the one on the back. So all we got to do is copy and paste and bring it to the back. Now, we're going to start putting this together. Okay, we're going to make this net come together. So here's how it's going to look. All these pieces aren't going to sit on the outside of the base. They're going to sit on top of the base. Okay, so each one of these, we're going to lift them up 1/4 inch. So you just grab that black triangle and move it up till it's 1/4 inch tall. We'll do that with all of them real quick. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, which should be 2 clicks because we're doing 2/8 or 1/4. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to all align them. So we're going to align, I'm going to take the side piece and the base, just the side piece and the base. We're going to click L. We want to make sure that these align to the corner, just like that. You see how I did that? Lined it to the corner. Now it's all lined up properly. Now we can use our arrows to line up the other pieces. So that should line up perfectly there. Should be able to drag this side piece in and it should line up perfectly there. I'll bring the back piece. Ooh. Zoom in. And then I will bring this back piece and get me out of the way. And we'll move that in. And we'll move that over. Okay. So now when I look at the base, I'm going, that looks a little wide. So somewhere I might have made a dimension error. And if I look at these, that's a 1/2 inch. And that's a 1/2 inch. So somewhere I might have made a little bit of an error. So I'm just going to adjust this a little bit just for now. And let's just make this 9.5 and see if that fits. There we go. So now we're good. So somehow my math was off just a little bit, but I think I got it to look pretty good now. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to group this together. So we can either hit the group thing here or do Control G once we highlight it all. And now it all has one color, which is good for me. But before we do that, I forgot there's one piece that we have to change. In here, it says one of the side pieces needs to be 1.5 inches tall. So I forgot to do that. And that's going to be on these front and back pieces. So let's choose this to be the back. So all I'm going to do is change that from 2 1/4 to 1.5. And there we go. And the reason we're doing that is because that's where the number tiles are going to go. So let's go ahead and highlight that. And now we'll group it. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the dowel on here where it's going to go. And we're going to zoom in on one of these sides because that's where we're going to end up putting it. Okay, does that look right down there? Yep, that looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and bring out a dowel, which is going to be a cylinder. And first thing I need to do is I need to make sure it runs the right direction. So we're going to take this compass piece. We'll click on the compass, change it to 90 degrees, and click D so it's on the bottom. So there we go. So I want this to be 10 inches in length. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to change the long piece of it to be 10 inches. Okay. And if I put it next to our two pieces here and I hit L for align, I can try to align it center. But oh my gosh, look at that. I have it exactly center. That's kind of nice. Now, when I go to the side, though, we can see that the direction said that our dowel is going to be a 1/4 inch dowel. This is a 1 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to change two dimensions here. This one has to become a 1/4 inch, so 0.25. And then it's different than normal. We're going to have to change the height of our dowel to be a 1/4 inch. So we're going to change it 1 to 0.25. Now that looks like a perfectly represented dowel. All right, so in the directions, we know that later it tells us where to put the dowel exactly. So if I go down to the drilling the holes, it tells us that it's going to have to go 1 3/8 inch from the top and then 3/8 inch down. So let's get this ready to start from the top and go down. So I'm going to highlight both parts. I'm going to click L for align. So even though it's up here in this corner, this is the piece where we're going to align to the top. So I'm going to align it to the top and I'm going to align it to the edge. So that's where we're starting. So this would be like 0, 0. So 0/8 of an inch, and we have to move it over 1 1/8. Or 1 3/8, sorry. So right now we have 1/8 inch clicks. So every time we click it, it's going to move it 1/8 inch. So we know that 1 whole inch in eighths is 8/8. Then we need another 3. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So we have to tab this over 11 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 1 3/8 inches in. And now we're going to grab this black arrow and move it down 3/8 of an inch, which should be 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Our dowel is lined up exactly where we want it to be. So now that everything is grouped properly, what we're going to do is we are going to highlight everything. So Control A and Control G, and it's grouped. Now, I do want the dowel to be a different color so we can see how it sticks out. So I'm going to go here where it says solid. I'm going to make that solid a multicolor. Now we have our orange dowel. Okay. So as we can see, our shut the box is coming along real nicely. The last thing we have to do is we have to put our number tiles on here. So this is where we're going to make one, and then we'll copy and paste as we go. Okay. So we're going to bring out a box, and I'm going to drag it out here for now and just make it the right dimensions. So if we go up here, we're going to see that our number tiles are going to be 7/8 7/8 in width. Okay, they're going to be 3/4 inch thick, and that's where our issue was with the base here earlier. Remember, I only made it a 1/2 inch thick. That's where our mistake was. It's supposed to be 3/4 of an inch thick wood. So 7/8 inch wide, 3/4 inch thick, and they're going to be up here. It said 2 3/8 inch long. So let's go ahead and make sure this box meets that requirement. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the height to be 2 3/8. So that's 2.375. Okay. And then down here, we're going to make it 7/8 of an inch thick, which is 0.875. And then again, 0.75 for 3/4 of an inch thick. Okay. So now we have our number tile. So we can move our number tile over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look from the side after I put my number tile in here and make sure that my number tile lines up centered with that dowel. Now, as you can see here, Tinkercad has a nice dotted line right down the center, so it shows it sitting there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the number tile all the way as high as it goes to sit on top of the dowel. And then in our directions, our number tile is going to, I can zoom in on this side so it's not as far away. Our number tile is going to be 3/8 of an inch down when we drill the hole. So we got to go down to 3/8 of an inch. 1, 2, 3. And you can see where it shows -3/8. That's perfect. So get our number tile to line up right on the edge there like that. That looks good. If you really wanted to, you could take our number tiles and you can angle them down if you'd like. I like it the way it is here. That'll be perfectly fine. But I know some people might want to angle their number tile so it looks like it's at an angle. The only change here now is we have to zoom in on this and just make sure that our hole looks where it's supposed to be on the number tile or on the dowel, which if I'm going to do this, then I just have to drop this down a little bit so it fits 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so you don't have to curl it or angle it. You can just do it as it was. So I'm going to change the color of this to a dark brown. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to need 9 number tiles. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do, I'm going to get ready to make copies. But before I do that, I do want to put numbers on these number tiles. We have to have numbers on them. So I'm going to bring the text over. Okay. And my text is all twisted and wonky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the word text to 1 because we need a 1. And I'm going to make this like green so it sticks out a little bit. So now what we need to do is we need to bring the number up. We need to slide the number over. And as you can see, it's going to have to be flipped because it's aiming the wrong way. So remember, there's this mirror button where we can flip it. And if I flip it like that, it looks good. Now the only thing I have to do is I have to angle it correctly so it sits on the number tile. And back it into my number tile so they sit perfect on where I want it to be on the number tile. There we go. Now, when you're looking at this, you're probably going, Mr. Singer, numbers don't face that direction. You're right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that number again, and I'm going to click mirror, and this time I'm going to flip it that way. So using the mirror one helps you with that. Now that looks good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I just highlight the number and the number tile, the wood piece and the number. And I'm going to do Control C, Control V. I'm going to drag that over so it's right next to that. Control C, Control V again. Control C, Control V again. And then before I go too far, you're going to need to change the numbers. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this last one is going to hang over a little bit, but that should be pretty darn close. So now all we got to do is go ahead and change the numbers. 2, 3, 4. Remember, we're going to actually be laser engraving these numbers on here. But for now, we're just trying to get our orthographic sketch to look good. 6, 7, oops, 7. And we all know why 6 is afraid of a 7. I know you're already set in your head because 7, 8. Why'd the color change? Oh, there we go. 7, 8, 9. All right, so now we have our shut the box looking exactly how it should. So we can highlight everything. We can do Control G again, so it's grouped, keeping the solid colors. And if we want it to look like it's actually going to look when we're done, we can look in here in basic shapes. And if I type in dice, dice do come up on Tinkercad. So if we want to, we can throw 2 dice in here. We'll just lift it up a little bit so it's sitting like inside the box, at least as high as it is. We'll do a couple of those because you actually have 2 dice. We'll just lay them in there somewhere. And that is your orthographic sketch of your shut the box. So remember, you're going to need to have a, let's group it all together again. Group it. Okay. So remember, to make this sketch stuff, you're going to need a top view. I guess because I turned it backwards. There's your front view, your side view, your ISO. So don't forget to take your sketches of that, but that's it. So go ahead and make copies, or do your sketches by doing screenshots. If you got any questions, see myself or Mr. Harris. And once this is all done, then we can actually get you in the shop and actually cutting these up and starting to make them. They're going to be really cool. All right, that's it.